Most women believe that if they love harder, give more, and stay patient long enough, a man will eventually step up emotionally. But what no one tells you is this: men don't commit because of effort alone. They commit because of how a woman makes them feel about themselves when they're with her. Have you ever watched a man change around a certain woman? He listens more. He slows down. He becomes intentional. Not because she demanded it, but because something about her presence unlocked a part of him he doesn't give access to easily. That's not luck, and it's definitely not magic. It's understanding something most women never realize exists. Men have intimate emotional needs. They rarely articulate needs. They don't even consciously understand themselves. They're not written in dating advice books. Men don't talk about them with their friends, and women often miss them because they don't look like needs at all. They look like confidence, like calm, like subtle desire, like quiet influence. And here's the uncomfortable truth. When these needs aren't met, men don't argue about it. They don't complain. They slowly disconnect. They pull away emotionally while staying physically present, or they disappear altogether. Not because you weren't enough, but because something essential was never touched. Only about 1% of women naturally tap into these needs, and when they do, men don't feel trapped, they feel chosen. They don't feel pressured, they feel inspired. These women don't chase closeness, closeness follows them. Today, I'm going to show you 7 intimate needs every man has, the one that quietly determine whether he leans in or emotionally checks out. And as you listen, I want you to notice how none of these require you to change who you are. They simply ask you to understand how desire, safety, and emotional connection truly work in a man's mind. Stay with me, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. This is where attraction quietly lives or dies, and most women never realize it. A man doesn't fall deeper because a woman is constantly available, always checking in, or trying to secure reassurance. In fact, the moment he feels chased, something inside him tightens. Not because he doesn't like her, but because desire needs space to breathe. What a man truly craves is the feeling of being chosen freely, not pursued out of fear. When a man feels chosen, he feels special. It tells him, you're here because I want you, not because I'm afraid to lose you. That distinction is everything. Chasing comes from anxiety. Choosing comes from confidence. And men are instinctively drawn to confident feminine energy. It signals emotional maturity, self-trust, and calm power. Here's what this looks like in real life. A woman who chooses a man enjoys his presence, but her happiness doesn't depend on it. She responds warmly, but she doesn't hover. She expresses interest, but she doesn't over-explain it. Her energy says, I'm here, I like you, and I trust you to meet me. That trust is magnetic. It invites him to step forward instead of feeling cornered. When a man senses he's being chased, his subconscious hears pressure, even if none is intended. Pressure to reply faster. Pressure to define things sooner. Pressure to reassure. And pressure, no matter how subtle, kills polarity. But when he feels chosen, something very different happens. He wants to earn her. He wants to rise. He wants to invest, not because he's asked to, but because he feels inspired to. This doesn't mean playing hard to get or pretending you don't care. Men can feel inauthentic distance instantly. This is about emotional self-control. It's about allowing desire to move both ways, letting silence exist without panic, letting him wonder, just a little, does she choose me today? That question keeps attraction alive. There's also something deeply intimate about being chosen by a woman who has standards. When you don't overgive, overtext, or over-adjust your life around him, you communicate something powerful without saying a word. My attention is valuable. And when your attention feels valuable, receiving it feels meaningful. That's when men stop taking things for granted. The irony is this many women chase because they care. But caring doesn't require chasing. In fact, the more secure you are in your own life, the more room he has to pursue you emotionally. Masculine energy wants to move toward something it respects, not something that collapses into it. When a man feels chosen, not chased, he feels calm. He feels trusted. He feels desired without obligation. And that feeling is rare. So rare that when he experiences it, he doesn't want to lose it. He associates you with peace, confidence, and emotional safety. And from that place, attachment grows naturally. This is the foundation. Before intimacy deepens, before commitment forms, before words like future ever come. He must feel that you choose him because you want him, not because you need him. And once a man feels that difference, everything about how he shows up begins to change. This is one of the deepest intimate needs a man has, and also the one he will almost never ask for directly. Men are taught quietly from a young age that vulnerability is risky, that showing uncertainty, fear, or emotional confusion makes them less attractive, less respected, less manly. So instead of asking for emotional safety, most men simply stay guarded. They share selectively. They joke. They deflect. And they keep the most sensitive parts of themselves carefully protected. When a man feels emotionally safe with a woman, something profound happens. His guard softens. He doesn't feel the need to perform or impress. He doesn't feel like he has to have all the answers. And that sense of safety doesn't come from advice, fixing, or interrogating. It comes from non-judgmental presence. Judgment doesn't always sound harsh. Sometimes it's subtle. It's the raised eyebrow when he admits doubt, quick solution offered when he just wanted to be heard. The comparison to how other men would handle it. Even well-meaning reactions can teach a man, this isn't a place where I can fully open up. And once that lesson is learned, he doesn't argue, he simply closes that door. Emotional safety looks very different. It sounds like listening without rushing to respond, allowing pauses, letting him finish his thoughts without redirecting them. It feels like curiosity instead of correction. When you respond with calm interest rather than evaluation, he feels accepted in his raw state, not just his polished one. This doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or poor behavior. Emotional safety is not about lowering standards. It's about separating understanding from agreement. You can understand his perspective without endorsing it. You can hear his fears without carrying them. And when you do, you become the rare woman who can hold space without losing herself. There's also sensual dimension to emotional safety. When a man feels emotionally safe, intimacy deepens naturally. He becomes more present, more attentive, more connected. Desire becomes less about performance and more about closeness. Safety allows him to be fully there with his mind, not just his body. What many women don't realize is that emotional safety creates loyalty. Not because a man is dependent, but because he doesn't want to lose the one place where he can be fully himself. In a world where he feels constantly measured by outcomes and expectations, being with a woman who offers acceptance feels like relief. When you create emotional safety without judgment, you give him something he didn't even know he was missing. And once a man experiences that level of connection, surface attraction no longer satisfies him. He wants depth. He wants continuity. He wants you because you are where he feels understood, not evaluated. That's why emotional safety isn't soft, it's powerful. It doesn't pull him closer through force. It draws him in through trust. And trust, once earned, is what turns interest into emotional attachment. This is where intimacy shifts from situational to personal. Many men grow up believing their value comes from performance, what they provide, how they succeed, how strong or capable they appear. Praise often comes when they do something right, not when they simply are. Over time, this teaches a man a quiet lesson. Love is conditional, and that belief follows him into adult relationships. When a man feels appreciated only for his actions, his effort, his protection, his consistency, he may feel respected, but he doesn't always feel desired. Desire is different. Desire speaks to identity. It says, I want you, not just what you give me. And when a man experiences that, it touches a place much deeper than ego. It reaches his sense of self. This is why certain compliments land differently. Saying thank you for doing that acknowledges effort. Saying I love the way you think or I feel so drawn to your presence acknowledges essence. When you admire how he shows up in the world, his calm, his decisiveness, his humor, his intensity, you're telling him he's attractive beyond his utility. That kind of recognition creates emotional attachment. Many women hesitate to express desire because they fear it will reduce mystery or give away power. But desire, when expressed confidently and selectively, does the opposite. It strengthens polarity. It tells him, I see you and I choose you. Men don't lose interest because a woman desires them. They lose interest when desire feels indiscriminate or dependent. There's also something incredibly intimate about being desired without expectation. When your admiration isn't followed by a demand, it feels pure. When your attraction isn't used as leverage, it feels safe. That combination, desire without pressure, is rare. And rarity creates value. This doesn't mean constant validation. Over-complimenting dilutes impact. What matters is precision. Noticing specific qualities. Naming what draws you in. Letting your attraction show through tone, presence, and subtle affection. Often, it's less about words and more about how you look at him, how you respond when he speaks, how you let him feel felt. When a man feels desired for who he is, he stops questioning whether he's enough, he relaxes, he becomes more expressive, more generous, more emotionally available. Desire becomes a mirror that reflects his best self back to him. And here's the key. A man who feels desired doesn't need to chase validation elsewhere. He feels anchored. He feels chosen. He feels wanted not for his role, but for his identity. And that is deeply bonding. This is why this need is so powerful. Because when a woman desires a man at the level of his essence, she doesn't just attract his attention, she earns his emotional investment. Here's where attraction becomes electric, yet few women recognize its subtle power. Men thrive in environments where intimacy feels fun, light, and effortless, not heavy with expectation or obligation. Too often, women unintentionally place pressure on intimacy, the unspoken rules, the timelines, the shoulds about closeness or commitment. And men, even when they care deeply, can feel cornered. When pressure enters the room, desire naturally retreats. Playful intimacy, on the other hand, creates space for desire to breathe. It's the laughter shared in a quiet moment, the teasing glance across the room, the slow, flirty energy in a conversation. It's not about being childish. It's about keeping connection alive without forcing it. It says, I enjoy being with you, and I want you to enjoy being with me too. That subtle freedom draws a man in far more than constant seriousness ever could. Consider this. When a man feels playful intimacy, he experiences mental engagement in addition to physical attraction. Desire is amplified when he can anticipate fun, mystery, or flirtation with you. That anticipation keeps him coming back, not out of duty, but because his mind and heart are fully invested. Playfulness makes connection feel spontaneous and alive. It transforms ordinary moments into magnetic energy. Another layer of playful intimacy is teasing with care. Gentle challenges, clever jokes, or flirtatious banter allow a man to show his masculine side without fear of judgment. It creates polarity, the subtle push and pull that keeps desire sharp. When a woman teases with confidence and warmth, she's signaling that intimacy isn't about compliance, it's about mutual enjoyment. That distinction is irresistible. Importantly, playful intimacy isn't just about fun, it's about reducing pressure during vulnerability. Men often retreat when emotional or physical closeness feels heavy, urgent, or must happen now. By keeping a sense of lightness, a woman allows him to lean in naturally at his own pace. He feels safe, desired, and stimulated all at once without the weight of obligation. Finally, playful intimacy strengthens long-term attraction. Novelty fades, routines form, and stress enters life. When a relationship includes laughter, flirtation, and playful energy, men remain mentally and emotionally engaged, not because they are reminded of duty, but because they are drawn to the joy they feel with you. In short, playful intimacy is a quiet but powerful tool. It keeps desire alive, creates emotional safety, and allows a man to invest without feeling cornered. It's the difference between connection that feels heavy and connection that feels magnetic. And when a woman masters this art, she becomes not just a partner, but the person he wants to choose again and again. This need is often overlooked, yet it's one of the most powerful drivers of attraction and long-term emotional connection. Respect is not about agreeing with everything a man says or letting him have his way in every situation. It's deeper than that. It's about how you treat him when life gets messy, when he stumbles, or when things don't go according to plan. Men are wired to protect, provide, and solve problems. Even if they don't always succeed, these roles are part of their identity. When a woman consistently respects him even in moments of imperfection, she reinforces his sense of worth. She tells him without words, "I see you, I value you, I trust you." That silent acknowledgement is magnetic. It makes him feel capable and seen, which strengthens both desire and emotional attachment. Respect is especially crucial during conflicts. Arguments, disagreements, or stressful situations can easily erode attraction if handled poorly. Many women unintentionally undermine a man's sense of respect by criticizing, belittling, or publicly questioning him. Even small moments of dismissal, rolling eyes, sarcastic comments, or condescending tones chip away at his emotional investment. Men may stay physically present, but their hearts retreat. Emotional distance silently grows. Conversely, showing respect doesn't mean passivity. It means holding your boundaries firmly without tearing him down. You can disagree with him, express your feelings, or assert what you want, all while maintaining a tone and energy that communicates respect. That combination strength without hostility is rare and incredibly attractive. It tells him, "I respect you, even when we're not perfect together, and I trust that you will rise to meet life's challenges." Respect also plays a role in moments of vulnerability. When a man opens up about fears, failures, or insecurities, he's literally exposing his emotional core. Responding with judgment, sarcasm, or dismissal signals danger, but responding with respect, acknowledgement, understanding, and support creates a safe space for intimacy to grow. That space is the foundation for long-term emotional investment because men rarely find it elsewhere. Here's the subtle power. Men are naturally drawn to women who uplift their identity without compromising their own. Respect allows him to feel powerful, competent, and worthy, while also honoring your intelligence, standards, and individuality. It's a delicate balance, but when mastered, it creates polarity, intimacy, and desire simultaneously. Ultimately, a man who feels respected, especially in imperfect moments, doesn't just stay. He chooses to invest. He becomes loyal, attentive, and protective, not because he is obligated, but because he experiences the rare combination of admiration, emotional safety, and trust. And that is exactly what separates the 1% of women who naturally satisfy these core intimate needs from everyone else. Respect isn't flashy. It doesn't feel like seduction in the moment, but over time, it becomes the glue that holds emotional connection, desire, and loyalty together. And when you embody it, you don't just attract him, you anchor him. So here's the truth. Men don't fall for effort, they fall for how you make them feel chosen, desired, safe, and respected. When you show up with confidence, playfulness, and subtle awareness, you become unforgettable. You don't need to chase or overgive, just lean into these 7 needs and watch him invest emotionally, not out of obligation, but because he wants to. Now, tell me which of these needs surprised you the most. Comment below, I read everyone, and your insight could help another woman unlock a deeper, more magnetic connection.